Welcome to the Speaker Focus Show. Join your hosts, Kevin T. Robertson, CEO of SpeakerFocus.com, and Holly Hayes, a renowned mindset and energy expert from itshollyhayes.com, as we explore all things public speaking, communication, confidence, and personal growth. If you're ready to elevate your career and make a lasting impact, this is the podcast for you. Whether you're a speaker, coach, consultant, or expert in your field, we've got you covered. Get ready to unlock your full potential on this transformative journey with KTR and HH. Welcome, everyone. So today with me, I have Kevin T. Robertson. He is known as KTR. That's how I like to refer to him. He is the CEO of SpeakerFocus.com. A wealth of knowledge, over 37 years experience in the speaking business. And we all have a lot to learn from him, including myself. So welcome, KTR.
Welcome, Holly. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I've been so excited for this chat because I just want to get everyone up to speed on how we met. And you basically, or your marketing strategy, dropped into my inbox. And I never look at them. I delete them every time. But your tagline, it really caught my attention. And I can't remember exactly what it is now, but it's like, do you want to take your speaking business to 6 figures? Am I right?
Yeah, sure. Something like that.
We
use a multitude of strategies on our outreach email campaign.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was funny because I had started thinking about where I was going to pivot my career and what I wanted to do next. And one of the things I think we're going to dive in today is where we found common ground is that perhaps working with people one-on-one is not always the best strategy. It is for some, but not for us. And I was feeling quite stuck in that space and unsure if I was doing the right thing. And then I saw that in my inbox and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to reply to this. And then I enrolled in Speaker Focus and here we are now connected. And I just want you to speak on that a little bit because that's how we did connect is we talked about one-on-one coaching and how that took you to pivot your business as well.
Absolutely. Holly, that's an amazing approach that, a lot of people really don't take the time to think about. And I'm glad that you brought that up because it's a lot of people are stuck when they're seeking mentorship. It's not the easiest decision to make. People are really on the fence. So what happens is a lot of coaches, they're mired in delivering the value of their service. And many coaches, we work with tons of them on our platform. I mean, some of the best subject matter experts in the world, but they're still exchanging the time for the revenue. So I had to do it. Many of the best coaches in our industry are still doing it. And what happens is a lot of people say, well, I want one-on-one attention. Now that sounds good, but here's what happens. If you're not using deplorable tactics to fill your sales funnel and you're really good at what you do, and many coaches are, they have great content, they're great at what they do, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to get overwhelmed really, really fast. So when that happens, you cannot keep up with the pace of one-on-one coaching. It's not scalable. I learned this from my business partner, Austin Troyer, who's the CTO. One-on-one coaching is not scalable. Now, that's a good problem to have when you're overwhelmed with success. So you have to learn to pivot to more of a platform-based coaching program that has the video modules. See, one of our mentors, Sam Ovens, and Sam has a business called consulting.com, and consulting.com is huge. So they have an up-level program. They have the program that teach you how to build a consulting business. And Sam Ovens says that one-on-one coaching is not scalable and that we are under the impression that the videos cannot possibly do a better job than us. So now, Holly, here's two sides. Like I have students ask me this all the time. Like they're stuck in that dilemma. They say, well, KTR, I don't want to be in a group program. Well, we don't have group coaching. This is better than one-on-one coaching. And I'll get into that a little bit later about pivoting into a platform where you can scale it up and you can help millions and millions of people versus just hundreds of people every single week. Where, watch this. So one-on-one coaching, the experience was they want to connect with you. It's almost like you spoil your coaching students like you do your kids. They become reliant on you. And in your mind, it's a trap. You think that the video modules can't out-coach you, can't out-teach you. You think that it's not scalable, when in fact, that's the trap that we all fall in as coaches until somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, whoa, hey, KTR, there's a better way to go about this. So imagine this, Holly. Imagine if you're in my one-on-one coaching program, and every part of the curriculum, you have to now schedule a time with me for 1 hour a week, right? And then I have to repeat that part of the training curriculum maybe 10 to 15 times in one day, because you're not the only person who's scheduling the call with me.
Exactly.
Now, that makes it difficult to do new strategy calls, new onboarding calls for new students. So now watch this. My calendar used to literally be open 7 a.m. in the morning until midnight, 7 days a week. That's what most people do when they have one-on-one coaching. They are overwhelmed and bombarded. Holly, I was tired all the time. My voice was tired all the time. I wanted to deliver the service, and I'm a high energy kind of person, as you can see, but it was very difficult for me to do that. So then what happened was my co-founder, Austin Troyer, comes along, strategies we learned from Sam Ovens, Alex Becker, many other of our mentors in the industry that make gazillions of dollars a year. And they taught us to create a platform. And that's when we created speakerfocus.com. Thinkific and Teachable would not facilitate our vision. We were crashing, things of that nature. They're great platforms, but it wouldn't do what we needed it to do. So Austin and our team of engineers, they built a custom platform at speakerfocus.com so we wouldn't have the login issues. We had these customized training modules. It's a nice, clean interface. It's a great learning experience. And now my calendar is open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at night. I actually get a chance to get some rest. I take off on the weekends now. And I show up on the Monday Q&A call because we're accessible for 2 hours. And then we provide support at speakerfocus.com 24 hours a day. And all I have to do is now answer support tickets in the evening and in the morning. And it's a lot more scalable. I'm able to help a whole lot more people. And Holly, I have never felt this good in my life. I've just lost 25 pounds, as you can see from the last time I saw you. I'm like probably 10 pounds lighter, but over the last 2 months, I've lost 25, almost 30 pounds.
Wow.
And I feel amazing. So the illusion is one-on-one coaching is great. And I don't want to be a part of a group because I'm going to get lost in the shuffle, when in reality, being part of a community will give you more focus and attention that you ever had in your life. And that's my advice for any coach who is stuck trading time. You need a scalable platform so you can deliver service at the highest level possible.
Yeah. And you're really speaking my language. And I think that's why we connected in the first place, because the first thing that stands out from what you said is time trader, right? So when we are working 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and trying to fit in client after client, and, my experience of that is that some people know and some people don't know, but my experience is actually in the global beauty industry. And I was a head trainer for many, many years. And at first I had to be a time trader to get good at my skills. I had to be in the room with clients, one-on-one, back to back, same as you, 7 till 7 or 9 till 9 in our business.
And brutal.
The burnout. And then I wasn't giving my clients the best service. And then realizing that I could actually have a much larger impact on becoming a trainer. I was so good at what I was doing, and I was taking seminars around the world in front of hundreds of people and showing them and giving them the formula to success. And that really reflects what you're saying. And these principles can be taken into any industry for anyone that right now is a time trader.
Correct. Absolutely. And you talked about something real key, Holly, which was burnout. We don't want to acknowledge that we are tired. Your voice is having taken many trips to the ear, nose, and throat doctor over the years, I can tell you. When you almost get ready to lose your voice, it is terrifying if you are a professional communicator. This is my instrument, how I make my living. So your voice has all these muscles on the interior and the exterior of your larynx, your voice box, and all it does is vibrate like zzz, that's all it does. Your voice makes sound, which causes the vibrate. So therefore, sometimes the exterior muscles and interior muscles get sore. So you have to, I always drink ice chips because you create swelling. When somebody loses their voice, like singers and rappers, they do this all the time. When they're on tour, they strain their voice box. The only thing that's going to fix it is rest. Correct. You have to shut up. Holly, I literally have a word count every single day. I keep track of my word count. Your average man, your average woman speaks about 25,050 words every single day. Your average male speaks almost half of that. I speak more than 25,050 words every single day. So I have a cutoff time. 7 p.m. is my last call. Then I try not to talk anymore for the rest of the night. If I do, it's very, very soft spoken, or I don't say anything at all. I don't take calls on the weekends. I do check in on just a couple quick calls for some students, some clients, and I spend family time, and then I rest and repair, and then I do it all over again. So there's a way for you to scale it up. You just have to really recognize that you are not a machine. The video modules and the technology is the machine, and it can outwork you 24 hours a day. And but we're in a trap to think that we can actually do it ourselves. So you start learning that you have to manage your energy very wisely when you're a coach, speaker, or consultant. And I call it the golden triangle system, Holly. Speaking, coaching, and consulting. You can scale up to the higher 6 and 7 figures so easy, but you have to let the technology help you, because it's impossible to do it on a one-on-one basis. And any coach that thinks otherwise, they just haven't been through what you and I have been through to understand that.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And I love the golden triangle then. And I think that, anyone that's perhaps watching this and thinking about taking that next step, I want to ask you, so how did you get into the business of speaking and being such a successful keynote speaker?
Wow, I haven't had to answer that question in a long time. That makes me happy on the inside because, think about it. Now I'm helping a lot of speakers, like for instance, you're not starting at the bottom of the hill. You are a facilitator. You do know how to teach. Yeah. You do know how to transfer knowledge. You've done webinars, you've done seminars. You know how to deliver value through your messaging. But, you just said, I'm not doing enough of the speaking. I'm not doing enough keynotes. I'm not really building my business. I need to learn how to do that. So I get excited when I meet a person like you who is so talented. They have great oratorical skills. They're very eloquent. My God, do you have a lovely accent, and your charisma and confidence just jumps off the charts. So I get excited because when I have to believe in a person before I work with them. And I believe in your talent. I believe in your ability. Then there's a other side of it that gets me excited, because now I got to go back to when I first started speaking. And I remember what it felt like. So I couldn't build this business with Austin and design it from the top down, us being multimillionaires. And I had to go back to the beginning, Holly. I had to go, in order for me to make a connection with you. Watch this. I don't know what it feels like to be a woman. I don't know what it feels like to come from Australia. I don't know your walk and your journey, but I tell you what I do know. I know what it feels like to have a vision in your head that you want to speak without the proper help. So I struggled for the first 7 years of my career. When I was right out of high school, I didn't know what I was doing. I stepped into my first paid speaking opportunity at 17 and a half years old. I spoke at a singles ministry at a church, and they took up a collection for me, but I didn't know it was a real business. So I was a professional musician by the time I was 16. I was voted most valuable member of my band and my concert band in school. I ran cross country. I've been a natural born leader since I could open up my mouth and talk. I used to get notes sent home from the teacher that says, Kevin's really good at art and music, and I love school. I love the social life. I love doing my assignments. I love school. I mean, I couldn't wait to go to school in the morning, because that's where I learned how to talk. That's where I learned how to speak. My paper was the example for the whole class to follow for English and literature. I had a natural gift for writing. So I didn't really understand the gift that I had until I started speaking. And now I just knew how to make people feel good as a regular motivational, inspirational speaker, because I didn't know it was any other business called professional speaking at the time, Holly. I just knew that I heard the vision in my head and I knew I had to act on it. So how I relate to you and many of our students is I go back to the beginning. That's why I felt all warm inside when you asked me that question. She said, wow, she wants to know how this thing all started. It started because I had this voice in my head that said, you have a purpose, you have a voice. I don't know where it's going to go, but I just need you to respond to the calling. And I did. And it's taken me all over the world, Holly. It's been a wonderful journey thus far.
Yeah. I love what you said. And I love that you said purpose, because that was going to be my next question, is that I think a lot of people struggle with their purpose or their why. And I know another one of the questions that I asked you, and I kind of put you on your feet a little bit when I asked you, but I said, what gets you out of bed in the morning? Because we do. We need that purpose, we need that drive, and we need that passion. And without that, and we've both experienced this with the burnout side, it's very hard to take that next step, or even take the first step in changing your business or pivoting your career.
Sure, absolutely. So that's another interesting perspective. I like the way you asked me that question, because there's a lot of people that talk about why. And there's a lot of like, especially right now, because the pandemic has worn us all out. Like, we've all been through a rough time. This has been a tough son of a bitch on all of us, right? So a lot of people, they may not fully understand their purpose, and then some do. There's people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that don't know what they were put on this earth to do. Then there's people that they've been tapped on the shoulder and the universe has said, hey, this is what I need you to do, but they don't respond to the calling.
Yes.
They waste a lot of time. You know why? Because they're afraid. So what gets me out the bed in the morning is the assignment, Holly. See, you can understand what your purpose is, but you're afraid to carry out the assignment. Does that make sense?
Yes, because fear is the number one thing that will hold us back always.
Absolutely. So to answer your question, what gets me out the bed in the morning is my assignment. I realize that I'm in the early stages of the third quarter of my life, and I have a responsibility. When people schedule a call with me, just like you did, we're not going to be bullshitting and playing no games. I'm not going to fluff you up. I am going to tell you the raw truth about this business. And if you can pass the test in the first 5 minutes of the call. In other words, if you can handle my style of me being full of my assignment. See, a person who really understands, they lock into it immediately and say, wait a minute, this guy's an alien in this industry. He's out there in the blue ocean. I've never had anybody talk to me like that before. What gets me out of bed is I understand I have a responsibility to you, and I have to carry out my assignment. Now, if I raise my hand and say, I'm going to be your mentor, I'm going to be your coach, I need to understand everything that comes along with that. If you're going to be my mentee and you're going to sign up for my coaching program, you need to understand everything. And I make it so clear. But if we're in it together, it's the journey, Holly. That it's the journey. It's the experience throughout this life of what the value that people really want to know. They want to know how you overcame the bullshit. How did you overcome the insurmountable odds? How did you raise up out of the muck and mire of obscurity when your ass was almost dead? How did you do that? How are you going to be vulnerable? And my assignment is stripping it down to the raw bone, showing you exactly who I am, because I can only be the person that I am, and I'm proud to be that person. I'm okay with the person. I'm okay with my deficiencies, my limitations. I am not perfect, but I understand what my assignment is.
Yeah, and that's authenticity as well, right there. You're being your authentic self. And again, you just led me into my next question. I swear we are connected here, because I was just thinking back to myself, did he say bullshit on the phone? And I was just thinking about that, because the second thing that really got my ears to prick up when we were talking is the way you approached the call with me. And you said, Holly, can I I'm not going to bullshit you right now.
Right.
And you spoke the truth. Now, one of the things in this space, whether we're talking consulting, mentoring, coaching, healing, whatever it might be in this space, there's a lot of bullshit. And there is a lot of people out there that are mis-selling products. And it's very hard when you're in a place of burnout or desperation or looking for your purpose or just looking for the next shiny thing that's gonna save you, is that there is a lot of bullshit in this space. And it's how to differentiate what's actually going to get you the results, what's going to get you from A to Z. And that was one of the things that really made me respect you in the first 2 minutes of our phone conversation.
Wow. Well, Holly, what I always say to my students about their speaker brand and their consulting brand or their coaching brand, you need a differentiator. You really do. You need something, Holly, that separates you away from every other average in the space. And that is shiny. Watch this. Everything over here is shiny object syndrome. Then the real is a very small percentage of people who really have their act together, who really know how to deliver service, deliver value at an extremely high level. So it's easy to raise above all of that, but you must remain your authentic self. And the only way to do that is you have to speak free. See, I'm a person, I'm not bound by any rules or regulate. I don't like rules, Holly. I like to make my own rules. Yes. I'm a maverick. I'm a pioneer. Yes. I'm a trailblazer. When me and Austin sat down and said we wanted to create speakerfocus.com, we had a dream. We had a vision. Yeah. Like we knew we had to get to work. Like this is a lot of work that goes into running a multi-million-dollar sales funnel. This shit is hard work. And we intend on pushing it past $100 million a year. We have other products in place that we're getting to the marketplace. So I would say that there is a lot in the marketplace because of the internet now. Yeah. Think about it. We have all these social media platforms. We have Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, any other emerging platforms where you can get eyeballs on your brand. So yes, there's more people running ads right now. But if you notice, there's the same people running ads, especially if you see a person's ad run for years, it's because they actually know their VSL is proven. Me and Austin have been running the same VSL for 6 years. Wow. We haven't changed it because we don't need to change it because it keeps the calendar full. Or our cold email outreach. We've used a lot of different strategies in cold email outreach because the market is constantly shifting and people don't want to read long paragraphs anymore, but all you need is one line, one powerful line to get them to schedule a call with you. So I would say it works. That it's effective. It's effective. So, but we've had to change with the market in order to learn what the market is adjusting to our messaging and our branding. So if you're going to create some separation and some clear market differentiation, you've got to double down on brand. That is my recommendation for anybody. See, your average speaker is just 80% or more of the YouTubers. They're just a motivational or inspirational speaker. Everybody, Holly, is literally trying to out motivate each other. So you hear a bunch of noise, shiny objects, bullshit, low level of service. They don't know how to transfer knowledge, serve at a high level. The vibrational frequency is not right. And that's why it just sounds all cluttered in your mind. And then you see a solid coach like yourself. You see a solid consultant who knows how to deliver value to their client base, and they're trying to figure it out. So the authenticity, you can feel it, Holly. See, faith is not something that you can smell like a barbecue cooking in your backyard. Faith is not something you can see. Faith is something you feel. And I instill belief in people and my authenticity through the way I deliver my value, and that is speaking freely. At the beginning of the call, Holly, I have one simple qualifier. My kind of honesty is not for everybody, but most people seem to appreciate it. See, the ones who don't appreciate it, those are the ones that can't withstand a whole half an hour call with me, and they do not deserve to get my value. but I give away more free information than anybody in my space. And I learned this by working with Austin. No one cares how great you are unless you're helping them solve a problem.
Yeah.
They don't. My goal is to help you solve a problem. If you're coming to me and you're hiring me for a service, why are you giving me your money again? If I'm not helping you get out of the dark, if I'm not helping you overcome these deficiencies, limitations, you need the slight edge advantage, Holly. That's why you take coaching and training. And that's what I'm here to deliver to people.
Yeah. And I think you do it in such a unique way. And I think one of the things that has definitely confused me in the past when I've bought different products or enrolled in different courses is that, you know, quite often I'm going to say it, the marketing bullshit, it's there, and it is that shiny object syndrome, and it seems really great. But then I think the other thing that you have the point of difference, and you just went into it with the faith, and is your energy and your drive to, like, this is your baby.
Yes.
And the way that you deliver it and the way that you kind of bridge that gap almost to get people from A to Z, like I said, I think just the way that you do it is something that I haven't seen in a long time, because there is a lot of marketing bullshit out there, and it comes back to that differentiating when you're making that big decision on who to work with next.
Listen, I live for the name on the front of my jersey, not the back of my jersey. This is not about Kevin T. Robertson. It's not about KTR. This is about speakerfocus.com. This is about the business that I started with my brother, co-founder Austin Troyer. And this is a vision that we had together. This is not we've done this without ego getting involved. We don't agree on everything, but we do have the same goal, which is creating the best customer experience possible. So I don't let ego and being argumentative. I surrendered. I had to learn a whole new business. I surrendered to technology. I was intimidated, Holly, by technology, like many other people. Listen, Austin is the one who's the technical genius. He's the CTO. He started his first tech company when he was 12 years old. He's a gamer, right?
Yeah.
Just turned 27 in 2022, August the 3rd. So this man understands how to drive traffic. He understands how to analyze data and metrics. I'm just a person that's the face of speakerfocus.com. And I am the person who's on the front lines. Obviously, I run the sales. But excuse me, I feed all the data to Austin. Every single thing. Do you know how much data that I logged into the CRM through doing one-on-one coaching? I have millions of bits of data that I share with him. Hey, Austin, the copy that we just created, it was horrible. The calendar is not full the way it's supposed to be. Okay, Kevin, duly noted. I sent him a message right through Slack. Yo, Austin, I broke a sales record on a Tuesday. I've never done that kind of money before. What is it that you're doing over there? I need to understand what it is. Like, we're constantly going back and forth, tweaking it. And I honestly believe, Holly, that if you really want to get your business to another level, you've got to stop worrying about what everyone else is thinking. You've got to do what you are designed to do. You are uniquely and specifically designed to do something on this earth. Now, your energy aligned with ours, and I fully intend on not suppressing your creativity. I want to support your creativity. Take the best of what you have to offer as a coach and turn those into high-power speaking topics, and then give you everything else to support. See, another thing that happens is a lot of people, they're too afraid to make the mistakes. See, the reason why we're number one in our space is because I've done so much fucking up when I was young, when I was in my 20s and my 30s. You're benefiting from all the horrible experiences that I've been through, Holly. I'm talking about excruciating pain that I've been through, tears of frustration. What you see and what you feel, yes, I'm a naturally high energy person. And I'm going to have even more energy when I lose another 30 pounds, because I'm making my health number one for the first time in my life. And I feel amazing. But what you've got to show people is you got to show them your energy and your passion. The reason why I give you everything, my all, is because I just been through hell and back. And I don't want you to have to feel that kind of pain. That's the reason why people invest in services. You invest in services and coaching and speaking because you can help the client solve a problem. And that's the only reason why you're put on this earth.
Yeah. And thank you for talking about the failure and the tears, because one of the things that has been coming up for me recently in my business is that everybody just wants to see the highlight reel, and success is not a very good teacher. It's when we take that step and we fail and we get knocked down, but we get up again, is when we really have a message to share with people, because that's what people are doing. The people, we've both used social media to connect. That's how we have connected. And the people that are scrolling social media are not really the people that are out there living life and living the highlight reel. It's the lower vibrational people that are looking to fill a gap and looking for that stimulation. And that's how they're going to find us, which is talking about our pain and talking about our failures.
Absolutely. Let me lock into 2 words for you, Holly. I could talk to you all day long about this stuff.
I know.
Success, the journey of being successful and the sacrifices that need to be made. It is unrelenting and it's unforgiving. And the pain that you have to feel in order to experience a high level of success, it is going to break you on days. Holly, I've had health issues. I've had a couple nervous breakdowns. I've filed bankruptcy 3 times. I've had my water, gas, electric, utilities cut off multiple times.
Wow.
When I could have went to go get a job, the universe has kept telling me, no, Kevin, you have to work through this pain. If you remember, one of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption with Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies ever. I've seen it, I'm not lying to you, I've seen it like 50 times or more. Every time it comes on, I'm like, damn, Shawshank Redemption is on. I can't seem to get away from the TV. Like, I know that I'm like, I have to look at this movie. And the best scene in the movie is when he just got tired of getting abused in prison. He went to prison, he was wrongfully accused. He was in there like 30 something years. This man was plotting in his mind to escape the entire time. It took him 20 years with that little pickaxe that Red got for him. And he laughed at him. He was like, well, what are you going to do with that? Oh, I'm just going to work on my little rocks, shaping rocks, polishing my rocks. He dug a hole, dug a tunnel. He swam through a waste tube, 2 miles long. That's the size of 2 football fields. So he could escape and get his freedom and start a new life. So I was willing to swim through all that waste, all that bullshit. And I tell you, Holly, some of it was, it's a nasty business, but it's very necessary for us to go through it. So when I was losing houses, when the repo man was with the flashlight looking for multiple cars, I've gotten eviction notices, foreclosure notices. Unfortunately, I've had to go through that pain, and I've taken my family through it with me, but I'm still standing strong because I would never give up on my dream and I would never quit. Now, it breaks your average person, but wouldn't you agree that if you have a dream, if you really understand that the universe put you here to do a specific job, that is greater than you? So we have to stop being selfish. I have a responsibility to people. It's bigger than myself. Again, I'm playing for the name on the front of my jersey, not the name on the back of my jersey. And when you wake up every day and you understand the purpose, you understand how to carry out the assignment, you can't use any excuses. You can't afford to use excuses. So to close that answer out, I have conditioned my mind to deal with torture in the arena of business. And that is the reason why I'm successful, because I have a threshold to stay in the torture chamber and withstand it for the betterment of mankind and the betterment of the business world. And that's how I'm designed and wired on the inside. I was very fortunate, Holly, because Austin is wired the same exact way. It's a relationship and an opportunity that happens one time in your entire life. And I'd be damned if I was going to blow it because I was going to get afraid and turn back now after all the hard work. I was experiencing the pain up to this point. You might as well go ahead and endure some more and become a multimillionaire. And that's exactly what we did.
And that's the thing when you talk about pain, like when you're just used to being, and you said 20 years of going through this, when you're used to just feeling pain, it becomes familiar. And the mind and the ego likes what's familiar. So instead of making that change, we may as well just sit in our pain because I'm familiar to that and I'm used to it. And I think another thing that you say there, 20 years for you, 5 years for me after having a breakdown and the uncertainty and not having the call from the universe and not knowing what to do next and thinking like things are just always going to be this way, is that people have this perception that it does have to take years to make a change or years to heal or years to, build. And one of the things I am so strongly about and my teachings, which is why I feel like I'm doing a disservice as well by not coming on board with Speaker Focus and being able to have a bigger impact versus one-on-one, is that you don't have to have the years of suffering. That's your story and that is my story too. But not everyone has to have that, because as we're saying and as we're willing to open up to the world and share, is that you can skip to the good part if you're willing to do the work and look at somebody else's misfortune and make that your fortune.
Absolutely. Holly, it's amazing because, we live in such a microwave society because the internet and everybody's big flexing and they're showing the accoutrements of success. Like you said before, early on in the interview, they want to show you the highlight reel of all the good stuff, right? You think about anybody who has made it and they've had really extreme success. No matter how we feel about Elon Musk, I remember seeing interviews of Elon Musk and how dreadful the process was with him designing space, creating SpaceX and getting that off the ground. Multiple test failures. Now they are sending that rocket up like clockwork. They got a huge contract with the government, with NASA, and which was out of commission until SpaceX came along. But he spent the money on the best engineers. He spent the money on the best scientists, the best mathematicians. And they failed horribly in the beginning. People were laughing at him. They were almost bankrupt. He said it was so grueling, it almost killed him. He wasn't sleeping, Holly. He was working 18 and 20-hour days. He took an air mattress into the office. He said he would not recommend it to anybody. But all of a sudden, he exacerbated all his resources. He put it all on the line. You remember when he sold PayPal, he had to borrow rent money like 30 days later because he invested the money in SpaceX and a couple other companies. All of the money from PayPal was gone. People are like, what is this guy thinking about? The guy has a vision.
Yeah, it's
Stop
vision.
Stop calling people crazy when you see them making moves. You don't need to make sense to anybody.
No.
You don't need to listen to anybody. You cannot listen to detractors and naysayers. You got to stay the course. You got to understand what this thing is going to be in your mind. When the shit starts working, everybody's going to call you a fucking genius. And that's exactly what they're doing to him right now. That man almost killed himself. He was almost dead. I was almost dead. Yeah. These are the kind of sacrifices. But see, the Mavericks, pioneers, and trailblazers, Holly. And I like to consider you one of those because women need to see other women winning. We're too broken. We're both minorities, okay? Again, I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but I know what it's like to be a minority.
Yep.
And what we can do is, by way of our journey, we can let people know. If you get any inspiration from this interview whatsoever, we can let people know this shit is real. Success is attainable. I'm a real person who's been through some real shit. And guess what? I'm making real money. And this success is real. I can touch it. I don't have to wait until I die to get heaven on earth. I can get it right now. But you got to be willing to put forth the sacrifice, and you're going to pay the price. You must pay the cost to be the boss. And I have just always, Holly, been willing to pay the cost to be the boss. And that's the reason why I sit in the seat that I sit in every single day. I earned this position in this organization with my business partner and in my life right now. And that's the reason why I wake up every single day in attack mode, because it's a habit. You see, it's a habit now.
Yeah, you condition yourself.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
And I love how you mentioned heaven on earth, because one of the things that really, or one of the lines I heard that really got me to think about making a change and really going for it and not being afraid of failure
Mhm.
is that God, universe, whoever you believe in, on your deathbed, imagine if God plays you a movie and shows you what your life could have been.
Wow.
Because most people only live up to like 30% of their potential. And I don't even talk to my clients about 100. I just think, what if you lived up to 80? 30 to
Mm.
80, that's a big difference. You only get one chance. So imagine that movie of what your life could have been at 30% versus what it is, as you said, heaven on earth is just even 80%.
Mm. Wow. That's a very interesting perspective because, if if we could get that question asked to us,
Mm.
let's say I always go back and say, what if now at 54 I could go back and talk to the
Yes.
KTR that was 24,
Mhm.
right? What changes could you have made?
Mm.
My journey, there's a lot I could have done different,
Yep.
but one thing about it is that you have to wake up every single day. You have to step into the eye of the storm and you have to embrace whatever you're going to go through because it truly will mold and shape you into the person that you really need to be. Like, I'm not the same man that I was a year ago. I'm constantly evolving
We're not
because
even the same version that we were just 10 minutes ago or before even joining this call. That's how quick we evolve.
we're getting new cells are being created,
Yep.
regenerated inside of us. Our skin is the biggest organ on our body. It's constantly developing into something else. You see a mark sometimes on your skin. You ever notice why some of the marks from a wound stay there, and then some of the marks on your face from blemishes
Yeah.
go away? It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're constantly regenerating ourselves and evolving. That's the reason why I'm really into attacking disease from a gut support and a cellular level, and taking the proper pre and probiotics and exercising and making sure I get the right kind of oxygen and the right kind of food. Food is the medicine to make sure you get inside your body. It keeps you mentally alert. It's like, if you notice, there's a trend happening with all of these guys: Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone now has that 10x business that he's doing, 10x Health. And
Yep.
they're really heavy. These guys want to extend life for as long as possible. And you can slow down aging and reverse aging, and you can have a healthier life, because what's the point of having all this money when you don't have your vitality?
Exactly.
One of the greatest speakers ever in the history of this business is the late great Jim Rohn.
Mm-hmm.
And if you never studied Jim Rohn talks about, if you have a big vision, it takes you to have vitality. You need energy to wake up every day. Holly, everyone on my mom's side of the family has energy like this. My grandmother was 92 when she passed away.
Yep.
She had energy like this up until the day she died.
Mm-hmm.
My mother just passed away July the 29th of this year. She had energy up until her last day.
Mm-hmm.
And she just died of a heart attack out of just nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
And but I believe in not wasting this energy that I've been blessed with.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way that I'm not going to give people my all. You may be able to say a lot of things about me, but one thing you're going to say about me when my physical body is not here anymore is Kevin T. Robertson. He served people at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
And he loved doing it. I enjoy helping people. And you got to love people if you're going to be in the business of consulting, speaking, and coaching.
Oh yeah, you got to live and breathe it. And just to touch on what you said about vitality, because to me, thinking about the health side of things too, because I do a lot of speaking and a lot of work with energy. And as you said, vitality, like health, what is that? If you don't have energy, you are not healthy. I'm sorry, because if you can't keep going, then that's not the true definition of health. And for people to realize too, when we go back, we'll make it full circle now when we talked about trading time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Time is finite, but energy is infinite. So if you work more on protecting your energy and stimulating your energy and fueling your energy, like you said, through the foods that we eat and even the behaviors that we engage in. This all
Correct.
affects our energy. If we really focus on that, we can be the epitome of success.
Absolutely. Holly, I call it right. What we've been doing for almost an hour in this interview is matching energy with
Mm.
energy. You're
Mhm. Yep.
giving, I'm receiving. I'm giving, you're receiving.
Yeah.
And I believe that energy is like, to put it another way, you described it so eloquently. Your accent, so your accent is so beautiful. I could listen to you all
Thank
day
you.
long. So you're welcome. So I look at energy like the gas needle in the gas tank of your car. You
Mm.
fill it up and the gas needle goes all the way over here, right?
Yep.
Now let's say you're taking a long trip. You got a nice road trip,
Mhm.
and you gotta let's say you gotta drive maybe 400 or 500 miles.
Mhm.
Now, you may get that on one tank, and you gotta pull over again, you gotta fuel up. Well, your energy is the same way. And when you wake up in the morning, it's like on full. And
Yep.
then eventually the needle just starts going down because you're using energy, talking, interacting with people. That requires energy.
Mhm.
You're doing your job, you're exercising, you're working out. See, one thing I realized, remember I told you I have a word count every day.
Yep.
So I realized when I get to my word count, I can feel it right here in my throat.
Mhm.
I can feel my energy starting to go down, starting to go down. By the time I get to a quarter tank for my energy, I got just enough left. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I only can do maybe return a couple of emails, maybe clean out a couple support tickets. So I'm prepared for tomorrow. Okay, what do I need to focus on first thing in the morning when I get up? And then I have that on my desktop so I know I can get into that. And then I go right to my massage chair and
Yep.
I start winding down. I put on vibrational frequency sleep meditation music.
Yes.
So I get in my massage chair and I unwind, then I go to sleep.
Yes.
And I've learned to get my 7 or 8 hours of sleep
Yep.
every single night. So see, I used to waste energy trying to be at every single business mixer, trying to go to
Yes.
everybody's birthday party, trying to go to everybody's happy hour. I don't go to anything now.
No.
I am totally selfish in a positive way.
Yep.
I have a schedule, and if it's not on the schedule, it doesn't exist to
Doesn't
me,
happen. Yep.
because other than that, you're just all over the place and you don't have any real focus. My focus is on my mission when I wake up every day,
Yep.
and I need the energy to do that. So therefore, you cannot let blood-sucking leeches take away your energy.
Mm.
Vampires that are negative, you can't let them in your circle. People who are jealous or envious of you, you got to block out all of that bullshit,
Yep.
because you're not going to be able to survive in a real world of competitive business and keep the slight edge advantage if you succumb to those distractions.
Yep.
I want to just add a little bit on the back end of that. Then I'm curious to know what you're going to ask me next. So I heard Jay Leno say this about comedians. Jay Leno, one of the best comedians in the world, he used to host the Tonight Show before Jimmy Fallon got there. So Jay Leno said, comedians, if they can just stay away from drugs, excessive abusive relationships, or sometimes they're chasing women too much, they're drinking alcohol, they're on pills,
Mm.
they don't have any discipline, they want to party more than they want to work on their craft. He said, if you could just stay, he gave like a top 10 things. He said, if those things keep you from the stage. Let
Mm.
me say that again. He said, all those things keep the comedian from the stage. So it's the same thing with me. I don't want anything keeping me from the stage when I need to go on tour to speak. And I don't need things keeping me from the stage of business, because then I can't deliver the value. So if I'm hopped up on drugs, if I'm letting people waste my time, if I have a horrible relationship, now emotionally I'm all over the place. Those things prevent you and they block you from you doing your assignment. So you've got to get it in your mind. This is why artists like Madonna can tour for 40 plus years.
Mhm.
You know why? Because she doesn't let that bullshit in her circle,
Yeah.
because she's focused on her assignment. That's why you see artists that have longevity. People that abuse drugs, they don't live a long life.
No.
People that abuse alcohol, they don't live a long life. People that food is poison, they don't live a long life. So you could burn candle at both ends of the stick. Believe me, I did it before. But eventually you got to start focusing in on all the things that are distractions. You got to get that shit out of your life so you can make way for all the goodness. See, I'm not interested in being happy, Holly. I want to be fulfilled. I seek fulfillment every day because fulfillment is sustainable. It's forever lasting. Happiness is fleeting. Happiness is let me smoke some weed. Happiness is let me shoot this dope in my veins. Happiness is let me snort this cocaine. Happiness is let me take this drink. Happiness is let me have sex, and it's over real fast.
Yep.
Yeah, some of those things are not as abusive, but addiction is a nasty business, and it stops you from getting to the stage of life.
And that's exactly how I talk about fulfillment, actually, when we're talking about manifestation and, you know, creating the life of our dreams and our desires, is that if it's always in the future, it's exactly what you just said about drugs and alcohol. It's chasing the dragon, because as soon as you get that thing that you've wanted for so long, it gives you that quick high, and then it wears off, and then you're not fulfilled, and then you're looking for the next thing. Because if your energy is constantly, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy, you know, when I get that speaking gig, I'll be happy when I get that relationship, I'll be happy when I have $1 million. As soon as we get to $1 million, well, I want 2 million now, right? It's always in the future.
Yes, it's addictive. That's amazing that you said it. And I love your phraseology, and I'm a wordsmith, so I'm real big on that. That, you know, we always in our mind, sometimes we say it's not enough. I could break a sales record one day and I could be like, man, I want more. I said, whoa, wait a minute, Kevin. Your yesterday was so shitty. Can you just be thankful that today is better than yesterday was? And you're sitting up here talking about breaking a sales record. You know, sometimes we're focusing on all the wrong shit, Holly. We really are. We're not focusing on being thankful. Every day I wake up, I practice the law of gratitude. I practice the law of reciprocity. Whatever I put out into the universe, I want to get that back. So I practice good vibes. I practice being grateful and thankful for the position that the universe has put me in, to wake up every day inspired, wake up every day fulfilled, wake up every day knowing that I do purposeful work. I mean, it's emotional, you know. When we just had our showcase in DC in October, I broke down on stage in tears. I was so overwhelmed with joy and fulfillment that our students appreciated what we do for them so much. I couldn't even control it, Holly. It was like, what? I was like, oh my God. I wasn't even embarrassed. I was like, I just got to get these tears out. Yes. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know, I believe that, I believe that the work we do, it's medicine in the message. You can heal people through doing energy work that you do. I can heal people by helping them organize their focus. So, you know, the branding and the logos and the slogans that we use, you know, that's just for marketing. But let's just strip away all that other stuff, Holly. I mean, we're just having a real conversation between two people that are vessels, and you're carrying this positive messaging. And that's what really gets me going, and why I really love serving people at the highest level possible. I'm just excited about life.
We can see that through the screen, and your authenticity and your no bullshit approach. And I love some of the topics that we've covered here, which I didn't expect to at all. But this is what happens when you just be yourself and show up online. And that's, you know, when I first started showing up on Instagram, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, there was the scariest thing, talking to my audience and knowing that there's going to be naysayers out there, and there's going to be trolls, and not everyone's going to like what I have to say. But what kept me going is that the people that very quietly in the background were telling me, Holly, you just changed my whole day. Thank you for saying that. I'm feeling the same way. How did you know? You're so inspiring. And that's what gets me out of bed every day, is that I know that when I, as you said, the vessel and being the messenger and sticking to the mission, is that when I get a download of, oh, I need to talk about this today. It's not always for me. It's to help the person on the other end.
Wow. I can remember my first online experience and getting feedback from somebody that wasn't positive, or somebody trolling me, or someone saying something negative on our ad campaign.
Yeah.
Or some people saying, oh, there's no way you guys are going to make any money. No one's booking any speaking engagements throughout the pandemic. And they didn't know what they were talking about. Like, our students have been booking speaking engagements virtually the whole time because we taught them how to pivot.
Yep.
And, you can't listen to people that are not subject matter experts. Everyone has an opinion. And, a lot of those opinions are misled. They're misguided. They're uneducated. They speak out of ignorance. See, and a person who, I don't speak out of ignorance. I am slow to speak on any subject. This is why I don't talk about politics and religion. I leave that for other people, because when the audience is going to be divided, and now you're wasting a bunch of time arguing about a bunch of things that, like, Holly, none of us, and all these people have been thinking that they've been the subject matter expert about the pandemic. None of us have been right, including myself. I don't care if you've been all the way over here to say, oh, some people say, oh, the first summer, it's going to be so hot. It's going to kill the virus and it's going to go away. That's what I thought.
Yep.
And I was wrong. And then there's other people that are, we've heard all kinds of conspiracy theories where we don't understand it. We don't have enough information to understand it. So why are we talking about it? I only talk about the things that concern me and the people that I have an impact on. But at the same time, it's going to be people in the dark shadows of obscurity hating on you because they can't do what you do. They're just upset because they don't understand their purpose or their assignment. And you're going to deal with that. So my advice to people that are looking at this interview is never let a person's opinion about you define your level of self-esteem. Never. Yep. You've got to find a way every day when you wake up to feel good about yourself. And if you let other people rob you of your ambition and you let them take that away from you, you're never going to find your true, authentic voice in this life. And I'd be damned, I've had enough of that shit when I was a kid. I've dealt with an insane amount of jealousy. I've dealt with people that always wanted to try to take something from me. I've dealt with people always telling me, no, you don't need to do that. I mean, they were trying to set me up. I mean, I had to overcome all of that, and I still survived it. So now I don't need to go to anyone to ask them for permission to do anything.
Yep.
I hear a voice in my head. I'm going to respond to the universe, and then the universe is going to conspire on my behalf to move all this negative bullshit out of my way and allow me a clear path to exactly what it is that I want to do. And I can do anything I want to do in this life. I have no limitations. The universe is, I live in abundance, increase, and overflow. I can do it all, and I'm going to do it all. Exactly what you see in your mind, the next second you are going to attract it into your life. And I just see increase, overflow, and abundance. Those are the words I see in my mind right now. All the goals me and Austin want to accomplish on another level. Yep. You don't need to be able to see with your eyes. You need to see with your belief.
Yes. Oh, you're really speaking my language now.
I believe.
And what I was going to say is that's back to what you focus on expands. So if there's one naysayer in your day and you focus on that, what are you going to attract? More naysayers. Yep. If you actually focus on the one thing that went right that day, just the one thing, it could just be getting a green light, you're going to get more green lights. It's really simple, but people overcomplicate it because of their beliefs.
Yep.
And the ego as well, because one troll or one naysayer and, well, maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe I should just shut down my business right now.
So Holly, let me ask you this. So what is it about someone saying something to us that has a negative impact on our belief system that causes us to fold or let the fear creep back in or keep us stuck like a stick in the mud from moving forward? What is that? And why do we let it overwhelm us?
We take it personal, first of all, and it's not personal. If a naysayer is attacking you, they're projecting. There's something,
Mm,
like you said, about jealousy. There's
okay.
something that you have that they want. So instead of being objective and putting the shoe on the other foot and thinking, wow, well, if they could create that and they went through all this adversity, I could too. And when you start celebrating other people instead of
Mm,
tearing them down because you desperately want it, if it's in your realm, and I've got an example for this. So during the pandemic, when certain countries, everyone had different rules and regulations with travel. Certain countries, relaxed their travel restrictions, and everyone on my Instagram was going to Greece. And all I've wanted to do is travel to Greece. And because
wow.
I was stuck at that time and my restrictions were different depending on where I was in the world at that time,
Mhm.
all I wanted to do was travel to Greece. And I was so triggered. And I was looking at their photos and I'm like, I hate these people. I'm so jealous. I'm never going to get to Greece. Why do they get to live this life? And then suddenly I put the shoe on the other foot and then I thought back and I was like, wow, if this is in my realm and everyone's suddenly going to Greece, doesn't that mean the law of vibration, right? Doesn't that mean that if I could just find a way to celebrate them and be happy for them and comment positively on their posts, maybe I'm next? Because traveling to Greece is not unattainable for anyone. You can book a flight, you put it on your credit card if you really want to go into debt. It's not something
Yep.
that's unattainable. It's
Yep.
very attainable for anyone to travel to Greece.
Yep.
And I started to realize if it's in my realm, it means it's coming for you soon too, as long as you can differentiate the jealousy and celebrate that person instead.
Wow. Wow. I love what you said. People project their fears or their limitations on you, and then we wind up believing that shit.
Yes.
And that then restricts us. And I believe it happens a lot of times from the people that we love the most, and like people that influence us. And this is why you got to watch who you let get in your ear, because sometimes it could be a significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could be a close family friend. It could be a personal friend, and they just project their fears on you and say, no, I remember my friends projecting their fears on me. They said, man, why do you want to write books? And why do you want to be a speaker? And no, nobody's reading books anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? This is the self-help industry. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Like I want to do some good in this world, but they were just projecting their fears on me. So I had to stop listening to them
Mm-hmm.
because they were literally destroying the fabric of my dream. I couldn't operate anymore because I said, you know what? What's the best way to eliminate a problem? Remove it from the equation.
Yeah.
So I had to remove the people with the negative projections,
Mm.
and my life became so much, so much more, so much more rewarding. Like, and I really also too, I had to get away from this, Holly. I was so busy trying to help people who didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I had to shift my energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like like people gotta deserve this kind of energy. You just can't give it to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And man, did I waste a lot of energy on people trying to help them with their goals, trying to help them with money, who didn't even care anything about their goals. I cared more about the goals than they did.
That's the thing, and that's where I struggle too, is because you start to, it's just this need to help, because when you have a formula that works, all you want to do is scream it from the rooftops and you just think everyone's going to get it. But that's their choice. If they're in a lower vibration, and we spoke about this on our first call too, if people are in a lower vibration than you and you're vibrating up here, you're going to miss each other no matter what you do, no matter what language I speak or how many examples of manifestation and creating the life of your dreams I give. They're down here. So they're never going to hear my message. It's just going to go like this.
Yeah. In other words, when they say level up,
Yes.
you're on the lower vibrational frequency, and money and success in the law of attraction operates on a higher vibrational frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not there and people aren't willing to level up, unfortunately, you got to leave them right where they are.
Exactly.
You got to stop meeting people right where they are. If they have a lower vibrational frequency, do the best you can do to wish them well.
Yes.
But if they aren't reading, 5 to 10 books a month, if they aren't on an entrepreneurial quest. I mean, Holly, I used to get upset with people if they said they didn't want to become a multimillionaire. I used to be upset if they said it. I used to get up in arms if they said they didn't want a higher level of success. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? We come from the same neighborhood. We grew up very underprivileged. So why wouldn't you want to get out of that situation? That was a lot of unnecessary pain, but you know, it is what it is. So I had to learn something from my wife and my best friend. They told me that you have to stop expecting people to be like you.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't over deliver. Everybody doesn't want the same thing you want. You have to just leave them right where they are. And if they don't want to go where you're going, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes loyalty has an expiration date, Holly.
It does.
And some people are going to be loyal to you for 3 months, 6 years, 10 years. And sometimes people will be loyal to you for 6 months or 3 weeks until they get what they need to get from you, and then they're gone. See, and that's okay sometimes. We have to understand that every relationship in our lives has a season. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking when you want to see people win. And you grew up with them, but you have to cut them loose. It is absolutely devastating. But I tell you what, it's easier to get over when you get older. When you realize that those people really were trying to do harm to you instead of good, it's easy to forget about them, to say, oh man, I had to, because you almost feel guilty when you leave people behind when they don't have the money, and you almost feel obligated to pay their bills. It's a trap. I've been through it before, but not anymore. Not anymore. If you didn't go through the hell with me, if you didn't do your part, then you don't deserve a seat at the table. And it's just that simple.
It's true. And always remembering that whatever is removed from your life you'll be gifted with something better. It's only making space. And the example I give is like when we're trying to climb to the top of the mountain, imagine if we took a backpack full of bricks. So what's the easiest way to get to the top of the mountain quicker? Get rid of some of those bricks. And quite often they are people. They are people that aren't coming with you on the journey. It's like carrying someone up on your back, right?
They weigh you down. Yes,
do.
absolutely. That's a great analogy.
Yeah. So take the bricks out, whether that be people or past situations or unhealed trauma or just things that you're holding on to. Take the bricks out and you will get to the top much faster.
Absolutely. Holly, let me tell you something. Here's what I learned. It's lonely at the top, but the view is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And you gotta want to enjoy that view, because you know we only have a certain amount of time on this physical plane called life and on earth. And then when we transition into another stage of our lives where we're going to live forever spiritually, and you just got to enjoy the physical manifestation of who you are right now, and enjoy every bit of it, every single step of the way. And that means managing your time and your energy effectively, staying very organized, and allowing yourself to have fun. See, the energy work is fun, right? Just like this interview. I don't even want it to end, Holly.
I know.
But I'm sure we're going to be doing it again. So
exactly. I mean, we will.
I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. And thank you so much for taking the time with me to make this happen. Is there anything else you want to ask me before we wrap it up?
I think just with everything that we've covered, if people are obviously going to watch this full interview and they're also going to see snippets of this interview. But if you've watched to the end, let's just speak directly to someone who's here at the end of this. If you could leave them with one piece of advice, what would you say?
One piece of advice, something that I live by every single day. I have a signature program called Freedom-Based Focus. And if you're going to step into the new person that you want to be, you've got to release, let go, and you've got to live free. And there's so many people I told you, Holly, I don't really like rules. Rules are restrictive. Sometimes rules are there to protect us. And you do have to pay attention to the road signs as you're traveling through life, because they will keep you safe and protected. But you must be willing to break outside the normal boundaries and whatever criteria that the world is telling you that, oh, you have to fit into this box. You have to deal with these type of restrictions. You have to be willing to break free. So that means tunneling under your obstacles, hurdling over top of them, going around them, flat out breaking through the barricade. And you got to get free, like Tim Robbins' character did in that movie called Shawshank Redemption. And when you get on the other side of that waste tube and all that bullshit and drama you have to go through, you've got to live free, and freedom of expression, freedom to say whatever it is you want, freedom to do whatever you want. Holly, feel, just release, and just whatever you feel, just say it. Whatever you want to do with somebody, start making plans to do it. Whatever trip you want to take, just free up money on your credit card and go do it. Just live free. Focus on freedom.
Tomorrow is never guaranteed for anyone.
Absolutely. Just be free, Holly.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really touching. And I feel like people that are watching this, they're going to feel just like I feel like you're speaking to me right now. This is also for you watching this.
That's exactly how I felt, Holly. Thank you so much as well. I mean, everything that you said, like, I mean, the way you phrase your questions, the type of passion that you put into this interview, and more importantly, the time, because seconds are valuable in our day. And I'm so glad this is the way I'm ending this day, with you asking me these questions. And I would love to do this with you again in the near future. I'm looking so forward to working with you in so many different ways. I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too. Well, thank you everyone for watching. And I'm sure we're going to be back with more exciting content. And thank you, KTR, for your time as well.
Absolutely, Holly. Thanks so much. Stay focused, everybody. Stay focused on your goals and dreams.
Thank you.